What's up, guys? We just finished chapter 4 of First Corinthians, talked about how leaders are servants, not celebrities. Paul gives us his example of humility, right? Talks about walking in humility and how maturity is seen in consistency, confidence, and you naturally grow mature through it. So now we're on to 5. We're on to chapter 5 of First Corinthians. So Paul starts off with saying, "It is actually reported that there is sexual immorality among you, and the kind of sexual immorality that is not even tolerated among the Gentiles. A man is sleeping with his father's wife, and you are arrogant. Shouldn't you be filled with grief and then remove from your congregation the one who did this?" So what he's saying here is that this is a serious public sin that the church knows about. The church knows that this is happening. They see the people that walk into church and they're like, oh yeah, these people, we know that they do this. What he's saying is that you must not ignore the sin when you see it, because ignoring sin is not love. And our own pride can blind us into spiritual danger, or from spiritual danger. It blinds us from spiritual danger. We don't see that. And so the church should grieve in sin and not boast over freedom. Because yes, like, you're going to go to church and you're going to be free. Like, you're welcome there, right? But to grow as a church, you must not treat somebody harsh, but treat somebody with honesty, right? Because that's being honest, not harsh. And it's because you love them, and that's because that's your family. So he's saying that in this church, you see the people who are sexually immoral. Why wouldn't you talk to them about it, right? So then he goes into saying, even though I am absent in the body, I am present in the spirit. Now, what he's saying is it's a call for a decisive action, not a course of anger, but for a restoration. Like, that's what you're doing, is you're going to these people who you know, and they know that they're doing something wrong. And it's a call to action decisively, not out of anger, but ambition to then restore them, right? And so, yes, discipline aims at reassurance, not destruction. Reassure them of the gospel. Don't destruct them for the things that they do wrong, right? Love them. It's all about love. So then in 6 it says, your boasting is not good. Don't you know that a little leaven leavens the whole batch of dough? It says what seems small can slowly affect everyone. One small thing can slowly branch off to every single person in the church. Next, it says, clean out the old leaven so that you may be a new unleavened batch. And it's indeed you are. For Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed. Therefore, let us observe the feast, not with old leaven or with the leaven of the malice, and evil, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Christ is our Passover lamb, right? We are now called to live differently because of his sacrifice. So grace, the definition of grace. God's the Lamb. He gives us grace. Grace is being transformed by Christ and helping others walk in truth and purity. Back up to there. When you get grace, you help others walk with Christ. You help others who are dealing with that sexual immorality, dealing with that drunkenness, that idolatry, the sin that they have. You help them through honesty. Not through your self-pride, but it's truth and it's purity. And so Paul then goes and says, I wrote to you. This is church discipline. This is a new heading. It says in 9, it says, I wrote to you in a letter not to associate with sexual immoral people. I did not mean the immoral people of this world or the greedy and swindlers of idolaters. Otherwise, you would have to leave the world. So he says Christians are meant to live like among these non-believers, you know? Obviously, we're placed in this world, given a chance for salvation to then walk with God. But what are you going to do after that? You make that decision. You invite Jesus into your life. God has a purpose for you now. You're going to walk with non-believers because you're supposed to be there to love them and then bring the light of Christ to them so that they can transform their lives and their hearts. But God does it through you. He's going to work through you. He's going to use you. And my other note says we don't judge or withdraw from the world. Our mission includes presence, love, and it would be impossible for believers to separate from these living in sin, right? It's impossible for us to separate from the living in sin because God places us here. We're in this world that obviously we sin, but there's a God that forgives, and that's the gospel. We're here to spread that message to them. In 11 it says, "But actually I wrote you not to associate with anyone who claims to be a brother or sister and is sexual, immoral, greedy, an idolater, or verbally abusive, a drunkard, or a swindler. Do not even eat with such a person. Do not pretend everything is fine while in the presence of a sinner." This is so important. It's so important. It's kind of what I just talked about. It's honesty, not harshness. Back to the sexual, immoral people living in the church. You're a family. You're doing that out of compassion and truth, right? It's honesty, not harshness. So when you're in the presence of somebody who's sinning, and your family and your friends, the people who are sinning, don't laugh it off. Don't act like it's okay, because it's not. You know it's not. Be honest, not harsh. It's really good. The last thing says, "For what business is it of mine to judge outsiders? Don't you judge those who are inside? God judges outsiders. Remove the evil person from among you. God is the judge of the world. God is the judge of the world. Live in constant, consistent faith. Allow God to do the judging, but allow your honesty to be shown through you and help those around you." That's Paul's call on how to truly deal with these immoral church members who need help. Because if you don't help them, God's not going to be able to work, and he's not going to be able to show them the truth. You can be the one who shows them the truth. Thank you guys for watching that. The next one's going to be 6. I pray that this spoke to you, that this showed wisdom, and that you can apply it to your life. God has big plans for you. God has big plans for you to help others by being honest, not laughing sin off, not ignoring it, because it's important that you face it. As a strong believer in Christ, that's all you want to do is help people. So do it in a nice way that is honest and not harsh, and help them know that. Love them. So we'll see you guys in the next one, which is 6. I pray that this spoke to you. Pray you all have a blessed night, and we'll see you in the next one.